you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed.
Are microtransactions a good thing or a bad thing in games? Let's just find out. What is up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I want to actually go over why I dislike microtransactions and the good things and bad things. And these aren't biased. I have done my research as well, and these are quite the common occurring opinions put into the table. I think we're going to go over the good things. There is less than that because they genuinely do bring less good. Let's go over them. It gives the developer more money. Now, this could be argued good and bad, actually, I've just realised, but it gives the developer more money, I guess, enticing them, which leads to the second point, which may encourage a developer to add more content to the game, or whatever it is that they're making. Now, I think in free games, they're a little bit more acceptable than in games that you already pay for. Because in theory, you're already paying to play the game. You shouldn't be charged for something, literally, that you've pretty much already paid for in the game. This is similar to other things which I want to relate to. When Rocket League and games like that become free to play after you've been charged to play it, it's also extremely wrong because they just pretty much stole however much money it was to pay to play from them people without any reward at all, other than being able to play a couple of years early, which, again, what did that really bring? Lots of people only played for the first year and then got bored of it because it was the same thing over and over. Let's go over the bad things anyway, because we've already started pretty bad, but the good things are there. They are genuinely usually pretty good because it entices more content. The bad things is it prevents people who are not willing to spend money or don't have the money to spend on a game from having all the content that they should be able to get. Because if they want it, there should be a way to unlock something, in my opinion, in a game. There should always be a way to unlock something for free. If it isn't, that just shows greed in a developer. It does. It ultimately does. It shows that the developer actually doesn't care and just wants to lock it behind a paywall because they can. And again, that's something that I don't think we should be supporting in 2022. And we have the power to show developers that's not how it's going to work anymore. We have the power to change how microtransactions work, but people aren't standing up against it. Instead, they're encouraging some developers to add microtransactions to the game after launch, which again, I don't think we should be encouraging it. There are some exceptions, if you can earn it another way, but maybe it might take longer, that's fair enough. But if you can earn it another way, that's not as bad as locking something and saying you have got to pay or you don't get it. That's wrong, in my opinion. It just prevents people. And that links to the locking items behind a paywall, exactly what I've just been talking about there. Don't really need to explain that much more. It prevents fair or equal game experiences. So in some cases this is true because you can buy some kind of rocket launcher or something, let's just say, whilst other people have to use AK-47s, for example. It's not exactly fair, is it? Of course the rocket launcher is going to win. You're just going to get blown up. That's just how it goes. And this can also go for cosmetics. Even though you're not really winning, you've got something that somebody else maybe can't get because they don't have money. That's not right. How is that right? Explain to me, please, how that is correct. That because you're willing to pay money, you get something that somebody who maybe can't pay money gets. That's the thing. Why on earth should it be like that? It's a video game. Most of the time, you've already paid to play it anyway. Shouldn't you be given everything in the game because you've already paid ridiculous amounts of money for it? And that's what GTA links to. And it encourages children to spend lots of money online. That is completely correct. And it really does. Fortnite is the biggest example of that. And I disagree with the fact how much they charge for that stupid skins. Every skin, on average, costs about £4, $4.50. That's ridiculous for a skin. And it's encouraging children and telling them that that's fair pricing. It isn't. at all. It's a cosmetic item. Ridiculous. Now, it is a free-to-play game, and some games are, but I still don't like them because, again, it prevents other people from having a good experience, because what's the point in trying to collect every item if I can't collect that item because I've got to pay ridiculous amounts of money for some stupid cosmetic? Exactly. That's what I really dislike, when they lock things behind a paywall, and that's the only way you can get it. Here's just some notes which I'd like to share before I close off this video, because I do really have a really, I hate it. I really hate it. This first point is so apparent in 2022. Some content creators, I could change that to most content creators, love microtransactions, or, I'm going to add this in here, or they say they don't support them, but then they still buy them. Yeah, saying you don't support them means nothing if you're going to just go and buy it. Because you're like, oh, I don't support it, but here's my money anyway. Take it. Bring another one out. I don't care. Yeah, and they love microtransactions so much because they bring them more content for videos. Fair enough. I don't think that they should be allowed... I don't think you should be given more enjoyment because you're willing to pay a lot of money in 10. Now, I can see why you could argue both ways. I do. Because if you pay them, you should get a better experience. Fair enough, but I don't think you should have to pay at all for an extra add-on. And some people will argue that free-to-play games don't make any money. They do. I'm pretty sure it's every player per day they get a certain amount of money from the people who they're selling or letting install. For example, that was quite complicated right there. Let's just pull a game, Clash of Clans. It's pretty free-to-play. If you don't even spend any money on the game, you will be giving the developers money because you're still playing it. You playing the game is giving the developers money because Apple, Samsung, whoever, Google, are paying them because people are playing the game. It helps promote Google or Apple or whoever it is. And they love, and I really see this in a lot of YouTubers, love to have items that their viewers don't have. So they can either rub it in their face and go, look at me, come on, you want to be like me, but you can't. Just like if some YouTubers to go and buy some expensive item in real life, it's the same thing. There's no difference at all. You couldn't even argue that. If you do try to argue that, you're just being ridiculous. It is. It's an item, just like real life. You have to pay for it. Pretty ridiculous prices. $11 is still a ridiculous price for something on a game. That is literally a few pixels on your screen moving around. Like, what? How is it worth anything? It's really not. It's just the price that the developers put on it. Now, games, on the other hand, are an experience. Little silly items are really not an experience. They are just a thing that looks nice. Okay, and another note, it's only really good for the people who have money to spend. That's so true. Microtransactions bring no benefit to the people who don't have money or aren't going to spend money on a game. They just bring badness, rubbish. They don't bring anything good at all to them. It just locks things behind a paywall to them. They can't unlock what they want to unlock anymore. Now, if this was to happen in Rocket League, Sideswipe and Rocket League. Now, the first reason why I don't think they'll be able to charge for the Rocket Pass is because they've already charged once in Rocket League. People already have it. That's ridiculous, charging them for the same item, but on a mobile game. I don't think many people would buy it, and it is absolutely ridiculous. And finally, some people don't want to spend money on the game. So why should they be punished for it? Exactly. It's like a punishment. If you don't want to spend money on the game, you can't have this item. It is literally like a 5-year-old. How a 5-year-old's mentality would work. I don't really know how developers... Well, actually, it's not the developers usually. It's the higher-ups. So we're talking not Psyonix, but Epic Games. Or not Rockstar, but Take-Two Interactive. That's kind of who tells them to add the microtransactions. It isn't Psyonix. It isn't Epic Games. It isn't... Well, it is Epic Games. It isn't Rockstar, but it is Take-Two. And the trend is pretty much in all game franchises that have been bought out. that's my little take on microtransactions. If you've got any different opinions, which I'm sure there will be, don't come in the comments to argue. Put your opinion across and we'll have a discussion. If you come in saying you're wrong, you're just a stupid idiot, I'm not going to respond.